We pay homage to the Blessed One, Supremely Enlightened Buddha. Sadhu. Sadhu. We pay homage to our teacher, Lukuswami Mahansi. Sadhu. Sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, do you have any questions to ask about any Dhamma things? About the suttas you were reading lately? Or any Dhamma discussions you had with friends? Anything you like to ask?
I have a question for you, Bante. So I want to know if you're a Sotapanna, is the Kamma, because we're making Kamma every day, every moment, right? Unless we're mindful about it. Is the type of Kamma that a Sotapanna makes different from a worldling? Like, is it a Kusala Kamma that like once you're in the stream, is it a different kind of karma that you make from someone who's not on the stream?
Yes, it is like this. There are three grounds for karma making. Three grounds. When we make karma, especially about bad karma, we are talking here. When we make bad karma, there is a background for that. And in the background, there are three things. They are called unwholesome qualities. First one is greed, craving, or desire. That's one thing. In Pali, it is called raga. And the second one is hatred. When we make karma with our body, speech, or mind, when we do things, when we say things, when we think about things, always karma is accumulated. So the second unwholesome base for the accumulation of bad karma is called hatred or ill will, anger. In Pali, it is called dosa. The third unwholesome quality, the base for the accumulation of karma, is delusion or ignorance. In Pali, it is called moha. Okay. Now, as an ordinary worldling, there is three unwholesome roots. Raga, dosha, moha is the base for accumulation of karma. It is very dangerous because some of these, the results of this karma, of these actions done based on these unwholesome roots will ripen in hell. The results will ripen in hell. In order for these results to be experienced, the being, according to the natural law, the being should be born in hell. So then the results are experienced as extremely painful results. That is how the hell world is designed. Some of these results of the bad karma are to be experienced in the animal world. So the doer is going to be reborn as an animal. Maybe underground for the entire life. The being is born underground, ages underground, and dies underground. Sometimes the being is born inside water, being ages inside water, and dies inside water. Sometimes the being is born in filth, ages in filth, and dies in filth. This is the natural law when the karma is accumulated based on those unwholesome roots. Or some of the results are to be experienced in the hungry ghost world. Peter. So this is the danger of having these unwholesome roots in somebody's mind. And this person is called ordinary worldling, Putojan. So as a result of the transformation that takes place in somebody's life after realizing the true nature of this life in terms of the Four Noble Truths, with the association of the spiritual friends, and by studying the teachings of the Enlightened One, and also by entering the stream, which is the Noble Eightfold Path, obtaining the right view, and practicing the precepts, practicing the meditations, entering into the path of the purification of the mind. Now, accumulation of lots of wholesome qualities into the life, right? Cultivating thoughts of compassion, thoughts of loving kindness, developing wisdom, contemplating the true nature of the body, true nature of the feelings, true nature of the mind, true nature of the insight factors. So it's a big achievement in somebody's life. So that's a transformation. With that transformation, when the practitioner achieves the first stage of enlightenment, which is called the Sotapanna, extreme entry, the one layer of the raga, the desire, the craving, the greed, one layer is abandoned. Not the entire raga is abandoned, but a very significant layer of that craving, that greed is abandoned as a result of this attaining the first stage of enlightenment. And that level, that layer of desire or craving or greed is called apayagami rago. The craving that would take somebody to a miserable rebirth, that layer is gone now. So even though the extreme interest still has craving, still has greediness, still has attachment, it's not that dangerous compared to the greed, the craving, the attachment of a ordinary worldling.
Getting an upgrade.
Yeah. The dangerous area is past, right?
So by developing these wholesome qualities, then you can transform your karma.
Yes. That's a very amazing news to the world. Buddha shared that with the world. And remember the second unwholesome root? Hatred, anger, right? So when somebody becomes a stream enterer by attaining the first stage of enlightenment, that dangerous layer of hatred is removed from the mind. Even though the stream enterer still gets angry, it doesn't do that much of harm compared to the person who has all the layers of hatred. That layer is called apayagami doso. The first one is called, I translated that, right? So
Yes.
the greed, the craving, that would take a being to a miserable rebirth. That is removed from the mind. And the second one is the hatred that would take a being to a miserable rebirth is removed. As a result, these 5 actions cannot be done by a stream enterer. First one is, but ordinary worldling may do any of these grave offenses anytime. First one is killing one's own mother, killing one's own father, killing an enlightened monk, injuring an enlightened being, and dividing the unity of the Sangha. So these are called, among all the karma actions, these are called the grave offenses. The extremely painful results for these actions. So,
Bhante, isn't there a sixth one? Wrong view?
no, in this explanation, only 5.
Okay.
They are called pancha anantariya karma.
Mm.
So, but the extreme emperor, Buddha teaches, will never kill one's own mother, will never kill the father, will never kill an enlightened monk, will never injure the Buddha, will never divide the Sangha. See that? How that? Because all those actions are done with hatred, right? Hatred. Now that layer of hatred is removed. As a result, those actions cannot be done by a extreme emperor. Isn't that a powerful guarantee?
Mhm.
It's great relief for that individual. Because when people get angry, they don't know what they're going to do next. That is how they kill their own parents. That's the danger of the hatred inside this mind. So that danger is removed. So no karma accumulation with that layer of hatred in the life of a extreme introvert. And the third one is apayagami moho, the delusion that would take a being to a miserable rebirth, that is removed from the extreme interest mind. That means he doesn't have that wrong view, ignorance, delusion about life. He has a very sound understanding about the truth of this life, how the karma works, what is the meaning of wholesome and unwholesome, about precepts, about this path. It's a very like wise situation. This human being becomes very insightful, very wise in terms of understanding good and bad, wholesome and unwholesome. So there's a difference between the karma accumulation. And also there is another beautiful sutta about the difference between the karma of an ordinary worldling and a noble disciple, the people who have attained the stages of enlightenment. If you can remember the simile of um, the lump of salt, Lonapala, the simile of the Lonapala. So Buddha teaches the ordinary worldling's life is like a small glass of water. The this the practitioner who has attained the stages of enlightenment, his life is like a huge river. It is full of wholesome qualities. And some of the unwholesome qualities can be weakened by the power of his wholesome qualities. But since there are no considerable amount of wholesome qualities in the life of an ordinary worldly, because there are lots of unwholesome qualities in his life. So even a small evil action can bring him unfortunate results. It's like a small piece of salt is put into this glass of water, and the water quickly becomes salty. So that's in the same way as very minor evil action can take the being into a miserable rebirth. Because there is no power of wholesome qualities to fight against that unwholesome karma. His life is full of unwholesome karma. So it completely envelops his life, that minor karma. But Buddha teaches the same bad karma, the same evil action, the same thing done by this ordinary worldling is done by a noble disciple. But the result is different. In the ordinary worldling case, that minor karma, even its small karma, would take to a miserable rebirth. But in this case, in the noble disciple's case, that karma will not take him to a miserable rebirth. Buddha teaches that karma will, he has to repay. There is a result for all the karma. Results are not just going to be disappear, okay? There are results, but the results are now weakened by the power of his wholesome karma, because throughout his life, like he has practicing lots of generosity, he has been practicing precepts, he has been practicing meditation, he has been practicing lots of patience in life, practicing lots of loving kindness in his life, lots of good qualities, like a river full of water. So Buddha teaches that evil karma, the results of that karma will be repaid in this very life. So that doer has to go through some pain in this very life, but nothing goes to the next life. Okay, you can read more about it by reading the Lonapala Sutta, the discourse about the lump of the salt from the numerical discourses of the Buddha. Okay, so there is a difference between the karma accumulation between the ordinary worldling and noble disciples who have attained the stages of enlightenment. Okay.
From the Angulimala Sutta as well, we know that for his past bad deeds, he had to suffer, even though he became a arahant.
Only for this life. And the karma is over when his lifespan is over. Nothing way to the next life.
So Bante, you're saying that the noble disciples, because they have accumulated more of the wholesome qualities, now if they have unwholesome suddenly, so of course the wholesome can somehow weaken the unwholesome, right? But the question now is, knowing that the noble disciples, they should know more than the ordinary people when it comes to what is good and bad. Now, suddenly they committed something that is unwholesome. Should it more serious? I mean to say that because they should be a model, they should be knowing more. So, and then suddenly they did some unwholesome. Should that be more serious, right? So,
you mean a noble disciple?
Yes. So we're talking about, let's say, a noble person. So somebody who learned, so who knows the precepts, and then he committed something. So he committed something, although he has a lot of good deeds done.
Yeah,
but he committed something.
That is what is explained in that Lonapala Sutta. I just explained.
Yeah,
even though that action is the same, and both individuals did the same action, but the results are not going to be same. The results for the ordinary person is going to be very disagreeable and are very unfortunate. But for the noble disciple, the results are not going to be that undesirable.
But Bante, because they are, I mean, they did something wrong. Should it be more?
Should they be punished more?
I'm just wondering
because they knew the Dhamma but still went ahead and did that.
I mean, I
Have
cannot.
compassion for noble disciples.
There is possibility because sometimes there are some. I see. Let's say in Asia, there are some monks or nuns. They know that they shouldn't be doing this. However, on the contrary, they committed something. So
Okay,
it should be more graver, right?
Okay, you have to understand this. Not all the monks and nuns and upasikas are noble disciples. You have to understand that.
Okay. Mm.
There is a difference.
Oh, so it's a wrong. They
Even
thought that
though
they are.
somebody is wearing robes
Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
and with a shaven head, that doesn't mean that
Uh-huh.
person is necessarily a noble disciple. That person is still, that monk or nun can still be an ordinary worldling. So then the result is going to be the same.
Oh, that is the wrong view. Maybe they label themselves as a
No,
as the
label
they,
is not going to work.
yeah.
The
Okay.
natural world is what natural law is watching. Okay. So,
Okay. Thank you, Mate, for clarifying. Thank you.
okay. Okay.
Swaminathan, Theron Sarana Swaminathan, I asked this question earlier too, but I'm asking again because it is in Lodapala Sutta. Swaminathan, explain
Yes.
this please. Yata yata vedaniyang kammang karoti tata tata tang patisang vedeti.
Correct.
So I want to get this vedaniyam part explained to me.
Right. Yeah. So that's the very like key statement in the discourse by the Buddha. That's a beautiful statement. And Buddha teaches yata yata vedaniyam kammang karoti puriso. So when people make karma, when they do actions, Buddha teaches when it comes to the experience aspect of the results, it is going to be different. Vedaniyang means how the results are going to be experienced. That is the key word. That is the difference of. There are two statements there. Buddha teaches if the karma, the results are going to be experienced in the same way by the ordinary person and the noble disciple, there is no point of practicing the Dhamma. Buddha teaches. There's no point. But there is a difference of how the doer is going to experience the result. Vedana means how they experience. Because there is a difference between how they are going to experience the results, there is a purpose of the practice of the spiritual path. That is what we are doing here. We all have bad karma coming from past lives. Everybody has bad karma. So if no matter how hard we practice this path, if this practice is not counted, still the bad karma is going to take the lead and bad karma will give the results in the same way. What is the point of making this effort? To collect merit, to do good, to practice precepts, to practice meditation. Why? Because it's not going to cover the result of bad karma. So then we have to experience the bad, painful results anyway. The path is not going to do any good. So Buddha teaches, if that is the case, if that is how the natural law works, there is no point of practicing the Dhamma path. But there is going to be a difference of how the doers are going to experience the results. That's the Vedana. When they experience it, there's a difference. Some of them experience in hell. Some of them experience the results for the same karma in this world by not going to hell. When the results are experienced in different places, that's the meaning.
Swaminathan, experience, the Patisangvediti is experience. Am I correct, Swaminathan?
Yeah,
Patisangvediti
those are kind of synonyms.
Vedaniyang, I thought it is like
Felt. It's felt.
really feeling, yeah.
Felt. How it is felt, how it is
how it is felt.
experienced. It's the same thing is experienced in two words. How the result is going to be felt, how the result is going to be experienced.
Yeah.
Okay. So the place is different. place
initially,
for place for the same
Mhm.
action by different individuals is going to be different.
Mhm.
That's the like summary.
Swaminathan, how, I thought this way, Swaminathan, please correct me if it is wrong.
Mm.
So when you do a karma, we have a feeling, right? If we do karma with happiness.
No, when we do
and,
a karma, we have a result.
Vedaniyam.
When that result is felt,
Mhm.
we call it painful feeling or happy feeling or neutral feeling. When we do action, there is a result. When the result is felt, we call this, if it is a result of a good action, we call it a happy feeling. If it is a result of a bad action, we call it a painful feeling. And if it is a result of a neutral, we call it a neutral feeling. So that's the connection between karma and feeling.
Okay, Swaminathan. And understood, Swaminathan. Pumping, Swaminathan. That one's are nice.
Yeah. And all the feelings are dependent on contact. Phassa paccaya vedana. So the feeling, if that feeling is a painful feeling and to be experienced in the animal world, then the contact should be in the animal world. So then the eye should be an animal's eye. So then the karma creates an eye for that being in the animal world. That means that being is an animal. That's how the 6 senses are designed. Dependent on contact, feeling arises. Dependent on 6 senses, contact arises. Remember the dependent origination? Salha ayatana paccaya phassa, phassa paccaya vedana. So the cause for the feeling is contact. Contact means union of 3 things. Eye, visual object, consciousness. Ear, visual object, consciousness. Nose, ear, sound, consciousness. And nose, smell, consciousness. Tongue, taste, consciousness. Body, tangible, consciousness. Mind, thought, consciousness. So this is the contact. And for the contact, the cause is 6 sense bases. So then the 6 sense bases should be in a relevant place for the relevant feeling to arise. When these 6 sense bases are in heaven, we call the being God or a goddess. When these 6 sense bases are in the human world, we call a human being. When these 6 sense bases are in the animal world, we call the being an animal. When these 6 sense bases are in the hell world, we call the being a hell being. When these 6 sense bases are in the ghost world, we call the being hungry ghost. It is our actions create our world. This is an amazing discovery by the Buddha. It is not an external person creates our life. It's by the actions of the doer. Isn't that very scientific? That's amazing.
So Bhante, is it right to say when you see people that are mean and doing mean things, you could say that karma will, they're creating their path
Yeah.
that's gonna lead to karma? Like I see that.
Yeah, they're creating their future.
Yeah, I see that with from years ago, they were mean and now I see how they're punishing. Like they're suffering.
Yeah. So the results, but results are threefold. This is something people have not realized well in the world. They think when somebody is doing evil actions, the doer is going to experience right away, and they name it instant karma. Or at least in this life, they expect the bad things to happen. No, that's not how it works. That's why people are sometimes confused. There are some evil doers living happy life. So where is the result of karma? They question. So there is no such thing called karma, right? They think. No, Buddha realized more than that. Buddha realized the results of karma are threefold. Some results will come in this very life. Okay, maybe instantaneously, or the later part of the life, or at the time of death, the results can come. They are called Ditta, Dhamma, Vedaniya. Anyway, the results will come in this life. And some of the results of not only of the evil deeds, even good deeds. Some people do good things, become generous, help others, practice patience, forgive others, but only bad happen to them. And they question why? Where is karma? Where is fairness in this world? So I don't believe in karma because I was a very good person, but all these miserable things happen to me. Why? Dhamma is not to be blamed. It's the lack of knowledge. So results of good actions or bad actions, both, okay? Some of the results can come in this life, but some of the results will not come in this life. They will come just after death. They are called upapajja vedani. Next life. So the evildoer we talked about before can live a very happy life here. Everybody praises, very famous, popular, powerful. But inside evil, we don't need to envy that person, because right after death, the person will be reborn in hell and repay. So we should have compassion for an evildoer with the wish, or may this person stop these evil actions. Otherwise, this person will have to suffer in the future, even after death. So just have the compassion. Okay? Don't take revenge. Don't try to take revenge or hurt or get angry when you see somebody like that. Let me finish this, okay? So that's the second part of the results of karma. And then the enlightened one teaches the third part of the results. The third category of result of good or bad karma is to be experienced in any life throughout this journey. Maybe after 1,000 lives, the results will come. Maybe after millions lives, millions times of rebirth, the result will come. It will not disappear. Can be the results of good actions or bad actions. And that's called apara pariyavedaniya karma. Only 3 types. Okay. Yes, Deshina, please.
The bad actions that we do, is it okay to say it will happen in this life? You will suffer.
To somebody else?
As we do something bad, in this very life we will suffer.
Yeah, there's a possibility because it's one of the 3 types. There is a possibility.
But then later and
We don't know. We don't know, but these 3 occasions are the possible occasions. Either in this life, either in next life, or in any life.
Best thing is to dilute,
Yeah.
do meritorious things.
Yeah, increase the wholesome karma side. And also people should not worry about the past, because you always have the opportunity to increase your wholesome side, right? And that's the beautiful thing of these teachings actually these are not creations of the Buddha. Buddha taught this is how this natural law works. This is common to all beings. What enlightened ones do is just find out about this and explain this to the world. This is how this works. Buddha taught that in his own words. Buddha taught when there is the appearance of the enlightened ones and when there is not the appearance of the enlightened one, the natural laws are the same. So you want to ask something?
Yeah, because I think most of the person in this life may participate in war in the past life.
Past life.
Maybe.
Or maybe.
Like the first World War or World Two or other.
Okay.
And then in case in our next life, we may participate in a war again.
There is a very possibility.
Yeah. But once the people realize their past life, maybe they can see from the vision or the dream. How can they stop the karma, the bad karma from happening again?
Yeah. Only way is following the Noble Eightfold Path. This noble, there's a term for this Noble Eightfold Path, Kamma Nirodha Gamini Patipada, the path to end karma. It's a synonym for the Noble Eightfold Path. We called it the path to end suffering, right? Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patipada, that's the commonly used term. The path to end suffering. But there is another term used by the Buddha for the same path, Kamma Nirodha Gamini Patipada, the path to end karma. So the Noble Eightfold Path is the solution. Okay?
Another question. Between one life and another life, there may be some time or some crisis for us to rest, but can we choose the role or can we choose to suffer or not suffer in this life?
After the action is done?
Yeah, because I heard someone may say that some people can choose the role in the next life, but while some others cannot choose.
This life?
Yeah.
No. It's not by the choice. It's by the practice. Remember in the very beginning we discussed by the practice of wholesome qualities, one person, instead of feeling it in next life, in hell, that person changes that. Instead of feeling it in hell, that person going to feel the results of karma in this very life. It's not by a wish, mere wish, or a prayer that he changes the place where to experience the result. Is by the practice. The practice does, the path does it for that person. It's not an individual doing it. It's not a command of an individual as to say, okay, I don't want to experience that in next life. I want to experience it in this life. It's not command like that. By the path.
How about if they are like they are like already enlightened, and some of them may be born again to come to this world. Maybe they want to educate or enlighten other people. Can they choose?
There is a discourse about that. So now we are talking about noble disciples, the people who have attained the stages of enlightenment. They have some power to decide. There is a sutta you can read about that. It's called Sankharupati Sutta. Sankharupati Sutta, yes. Rebirth according to the formations. So in that discourse, Buddha teaches, if the noble disciple thinks that after death, because he sees the accumulation of wholesome qualities, he sees the power of his life, and he has a very good confidence about his wholesome qualities. And with that, it is also as a result of the practice. So he gets a special power. What is the power? Buddha teaches, if he wishes, okay, after death, I want to reborn among very powerful human beings, very powerful humans in the human world. very rich, famous, powerful families. Buddha teaches he can do that. So he directs his mind, he directs his volition, and he has enough merit because he has already developed. Buddha teaches he will be reborn among very rich, very powerful, very famous families in the human world. And the same person thinks, no, I don't want to be reborn among humans. I want to be reborn among certain God, heavenly world. And Buddha gives the names of the heavens. Buddha teaches he can do that. But ordinary people cannot do that. It's only for enlightened, the people who have attained stages of enlightenment.
And I thought after becoming Arahant, you will not be reborn.
Yeah, so thank you for reminding that, because it's only for rebirth, it's only for the noble disciples who have attained the first 3 stages of enlightenment, not the last one. Yeah. Those who have attained the 4th stage of enlightenment, they are not going to be reborn anywhere. This is going to be their final life. No more rebirth. Because they have attained end of suffering. If they have attained the end of suffering, there shouldn't be any rebirth, because rebirth comes in hand with suffering. If you are reborn, there's suffering in the package. Old age, sickness, death, suffering from separation from loved ones, wars, accidents, sickness, all these problems are in the package.
Can they be born, like become a monk again to educate or
No. The people who have attained arahantship, the liberation, the enlightenment, the last stage of enlightenment, no, they cannot change. They cannot change. Because there is no karma. So the karma is the force behind rebirth, right? As long as there is karma, the karma gives a rebirth. So what happens in the arahant's life is karma becomes zero. The word for that is not zero. The word is called nirodha. Nirodha means cessation of karma. There is no karma to be ripened. So how the results comes? The result of the karma is rebirth. If there is no karma, there is no result. Result is rebirth. So there is no rebirth. And arahants, Buddhas, they never think, like, they know that this is going to be their final life anyway. So why would they think that they should come back? Because it's not possible. But as long as they live in this world, many people benefit from their living. Somebody asked in one of the discourses, so if these good people know that, like monks, like enlightened monks, arahants, anagamis, non-returners, right? If they know that they are not going to go to a bad place after death, heaven is guaranteed for them, or Brahma world is guaranteed for them, and he asked why they suffer living in the human world, why they like terminate this life soon, because they know that they are not going to go to a bad place. And then during the discussion, the arahant monk answered, they live in this world as long as their lifespan is over, out of compassion for others. Because when they offer even a glass of water to them, when other people offer even the spoon of rice, even a robe, even a needle, even a chair to sit, that person is going to receive powerful good karma. And that good karma will ensure happier rebirth for that person, lots of happy results for the person. And the person will go to those monks and nuns and those noble disciples and learn the Dhamma from them. And that would change their life. True happiness will come back to their life. So out of compassion, they live That means they don't commit suicide. They live as long as their lifespan is lifespan permits. Okay.
These is called Sankara Sutta, Sankara Rupa.
Sankharupabhati.
Back to the people of the
Results.
I'm just wondering whether there is any relation between the degree of the evil thing that a doer done. That will affect the karma.
Yes. There's a very clear.
That's small.
Yeah, there's a clear answer for that. For example, if one of those 5 grave offenses are done, killing one's own mother, father, right? Of course, there will be results in this life. There will be results in this life, like that child will feel regret, remorse, or will have a short lifespan. Somebody will kill the child, there is a possibility that the results will come in this life, in this very life. But what is guaranteed is that the result of that evil karma will definitely take that person into the hell, and the doer has to suffer there for an eon. Eon means a long time. You cannot say eon has many thousands of years, hundreds and thousands of years. You cannot count like that. Is a long time. So it is a definite result. Definite results. So if somebody killed their parents, no matter how hard we try to teach the Dhamma to them after, and they try to practice this Dhamma very hard, they cannot overcome that karma in this life. So that's a definite result. That person, that natural law will take that being definitely to hell. So something like that. And on the other hand, when somebody develops powerful good karma by becoming a Sotapanna, by attaining the first stage of enlightenment, it is guaranteed that this person will be reborn in next life, human world or heavenly world. So that is the karma result. After death, the result is guaranteed. A happy rebirth. So it's like that. For some actions, there is a definite place. Okay. So the danger is that you can say, okay, in this life, I don't kill my parents. I don't make grave offenses, and that is for sure. But who guarantees his next life? This life, yes, you can say that because you have good friends around you. You have the access to the teachings of an enlightened one. With that confidence, you can say, oh, no, in this life, no, I'm not going to do that. But how about next life? If you are going to be among the people who hold the wrong views, and you don't have access to the teachings of an enlightened one, there's no guarantee. That is the danger of traveling in this samsara as an ordinary worldling, ordinary being who does not have attained the right view, who have not entered the Noble Eightfold Path. That is the danger. So what is the bottom line? As soon as possible, we should enter the Noble Eightfold Path. And that guarantees in next life also we get another opportunity to follow the path. And we will be reborn somewhere where there are spiritual friends to guide us. So that's the guarantee we get.